Donnie and Dolly. The team is supported by ableauctions.ca. Closing your business? We can help.
Monday, and all of our guests today, including Dave Tomlinson, standing by, sponsored by Passant Motors. Get to Passant Motors where the spring rides are ready to roll. Right now, pay no GST or get free gas for a year. Sign me up.
Oh.
Put winter in the rear view mirror. Although that was a little hard to do on the weekend. Learn more at Passant Motors, BASANT Motors.com. The Seattle Kraken visit the Canucks on Tuesday. Kraken host Arizona tonight. Joining us now, Seattle Kraken analyst on KJR, our old friend Dave Tomlinson. Dave, long time no talk to. How are you? Looking good?
Yes. Hello, guys. It has been a while. And first of all, I want to say you guys have done an awesome job with your project. Much success. And I still tune in every once in a while when I can. And you guys are killing it. So congrats on what's a great run right now, and it's going to keep on going.
Okay, let's try to make that 5 days a week for the next visit, Dave. But other than that, thank you very much. What's life like in Seattle for you?
I've got to tell you, I've got a really good thing going on here. It's an excellent fan base. You know, they're grabbing onto the Seattle Kraken right about now. Ownership has been fantastic. My broadcast partner, Fritz Hugh, he just brings so much natural energy to every call. So really have a good thing going. I've got a view right out to my right here of Lake Union, right on the water. So, things are going pretty well.
What were your and things have been going well for you and for the Kraken. It looks like they're going to be in the playoffs. What were your expectations realistically going into this season, Dave?
I think realistically, just being better than they were last year. Maybe winning more games than losing. Last year was a tough sled. They worked hard. You couldn't knock the Seattle Kraken last season for how they worked. But the one thing about that team is they just couldn't score goals. And this year they've been able to do that. And so the expectation was, let's see if we can't have some meaningful games at the end of the season. Well, they've gone way and above that. Remember, at one point they were first in the Pacific, and now they're trying to be a relevant team in the Pacific Division, and then, of course, eyes set on the playoffs.
Dave, Jared McCann, we all know in Vancouver, all about Mr. McCann. He's leading, 35 goals, 6 on the power play, 60 points. He's only one off the lead by Vince Dunn. Tell us about the monster year that Jared McCann's having.
Well, it started last year, and one of the things about Jared McCann, you guys remember when he was a Canuck, a little bit fresh coming into the league, and he's matured. I mean, that's the best thing I can say about him. I talk to him a lot. We reminisce, of course, about the Vancouver times, but one of the things about him is, he's got a wonderful shot. He can beat a goaltender from 20 feet with his shot. When he was a rookie in the league, he was missing the net a ton. Last year, he got it dialed in, and this year, I talked to him about it as well. He uses a 100 flex stick. He's not a very big guy, but he gets everything into his shot. And so when he comes down, he's a left shot, and he comes down the left wing, and he's going near blocker almost every time and hits his spot. So it's the confidence and the maturity, and then the fact he's getting the ice time and the opportunity. So he's been a real leader. He's not a loud guy, but he's been counted on all season long, and it started last year putting the puck in the net, and he hasn't slowed down at all this year.
Dave, a very impressive goal differential plus 19, and to do it with two goaltenders whose save percentage is not over 900, it's under 800. How are they doing that?
Yeah, we don't talk about save percentage down here. So the Seattle Kraken typically have been able to outscore any sort of issues they've had in their own end, right? They've got 13 guys with double digits goals. Jimmy Alexiak's a goal away from doing that as well. And so they just, with their depth, they just keep rolling. They forecheck hard. They set a high tempo, and they force other teams to play at that tempo for most of the game. So I think teams are still kind of overlooking the Seattle Kraken. The thing about why the save percentage is so low is that when they give up a scoring chance, it's a beauty. It's either a 2-on-1 right near the front of the net, or it's a guy has completely lost his man. So for Philip Grubauer, he's the athletic of the two goalies. He can get across. Martin Jones is the more static type goaltender. but they play totally different styles. And the fact that they both have a save percentage under 900, it's more systematic than it is on one goalie. But, the Kraken team, they haven't really talked about it that much. They're pretty confident in the fact that they're able to score goals.
We're talking with Dave Tomlinson of KGR down in Seattle. Vince Dunn leads the Kraken in points. I think that would surprise a lot of people. But so much of the talk when it comes to the Seattle Kraken is the player I would say is the favorite for the Calder Trophy, and that's Matty Beniers. Dave, what makes him special?
Matty Beniers has oodles of energy, and he's a wonderful skater. He gets bounced around quite a bit out there, just hops back up and keeps going. And the other thing, too, I think you look at his numbers. He's taken one penalty this season, and it was actually an interference call for knocking Alex Chason's stick out of his hands at the front of the net. So kind of an iffy call. He just plays the game. He doesn't get caught up in the stuff after the whistles. He's one of those typical kind of U.S. Development program type players like Trevor Zegras, who's got a lot of skill, just kind of is a water bug out there. Hitting the wall a little bit, like all first-year players do around this time. But he is one of these players that you don't have to teach him about being responsible in your own end. And so he's been going up against other teams' top lines, getting the top matchups, and he's been holding his own.
Okay, so Jared McCann, Vince Dunn, Matty Beniers, there's Coach Hackstall, Ron Francis. Who's getting most of the credit for just the surprising performance of the Kraken this season?
I think you start at the top with Ron Francis. I mean, you look at what he did in the summer, signed Andre Burakovsky to a nice contract after he had won a Stanley Cup with Colorado. He gets Oliver Bjorkstrand for a couple of draft picks out of Columbus. And Bjorkstrand led Columbus in goals. He's scoring here and there, but he's been a really good fit on our third line. And then, you look at the drafting, of course, Shane Wright fell into their lap. They've got a couple of other players that are up-and-comers, Riker Evans, top defenseman playing in Coachella. So I think that Ron Francis, if you look at the model of the Carolina Hurricanes when he was there, he builds through the draft. He adds pieces when needed. He signed Daniel Sprong to a nice contract, and Sprong's got 20 goals, and he barely plays 12 minutes. So I think you look at how Francis has put together the proper pieces. And the other thing that is out of most people's control is the health of our team. Like, we've been completely healthy this season. Last year, Tanev only played 30 games. Shorts only played 30 games. Those were pretty big pieces to us. And so this year, we've been really healthy. So that's why we're able to just kind of churn out and play with some speed.
What goes through your mind when you watch the Canucks this season, Dave?
Boy, start of the season was tough. I still watch the Canucks play, and it just seemed like in their own end, they just were not sure what to do. And it seemed like everyone was trying to do somebody else's job. And they seem to have it dialed in a little bit more here at the end of the season under Tocchet, and after making so many moves and having so many players play a game or two. But it's building. You look at Pettersson, Demko. I'm a big fan of Thatcher Demko, him being back. And so, that's that. And I haven't even talked about Quinn Hughes. So, you've got that core. You just need to build around it. I think it starts in the back end, as it does on most teams that want to, do well in the playoffs. You need solid defensemen that can make the right play at the right time.
Dave, you were such a mainstay on radio, Color 1040. Get your reaction to John Garrett, and it's his last season on TV here in Vancouver.
Well, I'll tell you, he's not just a colleague; he's a friend, Cheech, and we have some wonderful conversations. Anytime the two teams will play, I love visiting and talking in the booth there with Shorty and Cheech. And he's a rarity, right? Like, how for a goaltender to play for the team, broadcast for the team for so long, he's got such a good eye. Like, he can tell if something was deflected, something hit a skate, anything like that. And that's hard to do in our business. A lot of guys will just gloss over it. Cheech gets it right every time. I'm a little surprised that this is going to be the end for him. Going to miss him, but I know he's still going to be around, and I'm really looking forward to giving him a big hug tomorrow night.
So with Cheech leaving, there's a job opening in Vancouver at Sportsnet. Anybody in Seattle down there interested at all that you know of, Dave?
That's a leading question. With all due respect to Cheech, I don't feel comfortable talking about something like that. He's a fabric of the Canuck community, and I don't think it'd be right to comment on that. So ask me again in the summer. I'll be back in Vancouver once our season's over here, watching my son play baseball and hanging out like a regular dad. So we can talk then.
Well, Dave, if you watch our show on a regular basis, that's not going to happen. You know, we take 3 months off come the summer. I think it's 4 this year, actually.
4. Taylor's contract.
So maybe we'll talk to you in September.
Hey, Dave.
You can always text me. We can meet at the ball field.
There you go.
Dave, one final thing. If you ever get 2 free shirts like the one you're wearing, don't feel shy to drop by and drop off a couple here. Extra large.
What size am I looking at for you? How you been
extra
doing
large. I don't know about Taylor, but extra large for me.
Extra large is more than good. Okay, Dave, nice
if
to
you like
talk
the golf
to you.
shirt, I'll bring you a couple.
Okay. That's it. Beautiful.
Done deal. All right, Dave, great to talk to you. All the best, and we will get back to you on that question one of these days. Thanks, Dave. Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.